Representative Mo Brooks gave a pretty provocative speech during the Trump rally that preceded the Capitol Hill riots on January 6th. Now, he's facing a lawsuit by Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell for his provocations. And he tried to skirt that lawsuit. He didn't want to get served, but luckily he eventually did. And that lawsuit will move forward. Now, what's interesting is during a conversation with a Slate reporter, Mo Brooks apparently outed himself for knowing that there was some likelihood there would be violence that day. So let me give you those details. As Jim Newell over at Slate reports, because of a tip he'd received about potential violence, he'd been wearing body armor at the very same ellipse speech in which he encouraged rally attendees to, quote, start taking down names and kicking ass. In fact, here's his exact quote. Mo Brooks said, "I was warned on Monday that there might be risks associated with the next few days. And as a consequence of those warnings, I did not go to my condo. Instead, I slept on the floor of my office. And when I gave my speech at the Ellipse, I was wearing body armor. That's why I was wearing that nice little windbreaker to cover up the body armor." And what's fascinating is he knew that there was a potential for violence. He knew that there could be some danger. And while he was wearing that body armor, he gave this speech.
I'm Congressman Mo Brooks from Alabama's 5th Congressional District, and I've got a message that I need you to take to your heart and take back home, and along the way, stop at the Capitol. The 2020 election is behind us. Today is a time of choosing, and tomorrow is a time for fighting. Today is also a day of revelation and separation. Today, the curtain will be pulled back, and American patriots will learn by their votes which Republican senators and congressmen have the courage to fight for America. Now, our ancestors sacrificed their blood, their sweat, their tears, their fortunes, and sometimes their lives to give us, their descendants, an America that is the greatest nation in world history. So I have a question for you. Are you willing to do the same? My answer is yes. Louder. Are you willing to do what it takes to fight for America?
That windbreaker is neither little nor nice. I just wanted to like lies all around. But he was wearing body armor during that speech because he knew there was a threat of violence, but that didn't stop him from giving that speech.
Look, if you took the most charitable version, which he will later lie about and pretend he meant, and say he was worried about left-wing violence, even though there was no left-wingers there, right? So even if you took that version, would you rile up the crowd to say, are you willing to give up your life in this fight today? No, because then you'd be worried about, oh my God, we're gonna start violence with the non-existent left wing there and the right wing, right? Yeah. Oh my God, I'm concerned about this. But by the way, he didn't talk about the left wing. He said, go to the Capitol.
Right.
Right? So that speech was way worse than Donald Trump's speech on that day. Donald's speech made a couple of references to kicking ass or whatever, right? And look, there's a little bit of political hyperbole in some of these speeches, and I would normally say, oh, come on, saying take names and kick ass, who cares, right? But within the context of him wearing body armor and saying go down the Capitol, and then he said about how the founding fathers gave up their lives, and are you willing to do the same? And it turns out somebody in the crowd was, her name was Ashley Babbitt. And so, he egged him on, and he knew the dangers, that's why he protected himself. And just like Donald Trump, who said, I'm gonna walk down to the Capitol with you, and then went home to the White House in his comfy little bunker and watched from the bunker, Trump did. Mo Brooks didn't go down to the Capitol either, right? He walked away and he led them walk in. Now over 500 of them have been arrested and are facing very serious charges, maybe another 100, let alone the people who died. And was Mo Brooks part of the actual fighting? Of course not. He was comfy in his body armor, right, and very, very safe. That's how lying politicians are.
That's right, and I mean, look, I think the most generous interpretation was he was incredibly irresponsible. He was like Limp Bizkit at Woodstock '99, right? He needed to dial it back a little bit. I'm just kidding. I don't think it was Limp Bizkit's fault. I think that the promoters and the bookers made all the wrong decisions. And Limp Bizkit's gonna Limp Bizkit, you know what I'm saying? But that's beside the point. Watch that documentary on HBO, it's amazing. I can't stop thinking about it, clearly.
Took a turn.
It did. But we'll see how this lawsuit by Eric Swalwell goes. As we know, Mo Brooks, by the way, he's just not a smart person. Why would you admit that in this interview, that you were wearing the body armor? Why would you do it? Like Mo Brooks, Mo problems. Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Maybe he had a Limp Bizkit, I don't know. But seriously, it is, I mean, like if you're trying to prove the point that you did not rile up violence, saying, oh, by the way, I was wearing body armor because I knew violence was coming, is not the smartest thing you could say.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.